Nigeria's governors burn 1.99 trillion naira on parks and travel, while revenue falls short by nearly 1 trillion naira. Our revenue is falling, yet our governors, it's not only our governors, this one is just focusing on governors, ministers, legislators, judiciary, federal, local, and state, on federal, local, and state level, all governments, elected and appointees, they are all on spending spree. Now, but this one is talking about the governors. An analysis of budget performance across 29 states in Nigeria has revealed that governors spent a staggering 1.9. This is about 2 trillion naira, almost 2 trillion naira on recurrent expenditures, including refreshment, sleeping allowances, travel expenses, and utilities in the first 9 months. It's not even for the whole year. First 9 months, Barrister.
What? I will first of all not agree that revenues are falling. It is not true that revenues are falling. In fact, they are getting record revenue. The issue is not the falling revenue. The
Is it
issue
on
is
federal
the
level or
falling
on state level, Barrister? I know on federal level we're getting the revenue is rising.
At the state level as well, because they share from the federation account. If the federation is getting more money, the state and the local governments are getting more money. So their budget, if you look at in other terms, they are getting more and more, much more than what they used to get. The problem is the fall in the value of what they are getting. If, for instance, before you are getting 100 naira, and that 100 naira will buy you 10 pieces of cloth. Now you are getting 1,000, and that 1,000 will buy you maybe 1 or 2 pieces. So the issue is not that they are not getting the naira; they are getting more naira now.
Sorry, excuse me, Barrister. Let me clarify this. I didn't read the entire news. Okay, let's see. However, let me read this. According to Punch, the findings based on Q1 to Q3 budget performance reports from state websites highlighted that these states secured loans amounting to 533.29 billion naira and allocated 658.93 billion naira to debt servicing within the same period. However, the states underperformed in revenue generation, collecting 1.92 trillion in internally generated revenue. So the IGR is low, but they got about 40% increase from the federal level, because they said despite enjoying a 40% increase in statutory allocation from the federation account. Please go ahead.
Yes. So you have to talk about what is coming cumulatively to the state as income. If you put that together, if you put the internal revenue and what is coming from the federation account, each state has got far higher than what they used to get. Some states their internal revenue has increased, some it has not, some it has decreased. It's not every state IGR that has dropped. Many states the IGR is going up. I come back to the same issue. Cumulatively, what is coming to the state and the local government is far higher than what they got. If you look at Tinubu, who has been boasting that they are generating far more revenue, and he has made it point of something which he calls success, which to me is absolute nonsense. If you make more than what you used to make and the value is far less than what you used to get, how can that be a step in forward? It's not a step forward. What they are getting now does not come near to what they use. It's far more, but the value in terms of value, it is far less than what they used to get. So how can that be progress? How can that be put down as success? The 30,000 minimum wage that the least worker in Nigeria used to get could buy him a bag of rice, could buy him so many things. Now the 70,000 that he is getting now as minimum wage cannot buy him even one bag of rice. So how can you point that as success or progress? To me, it is absolute nonsense, and it is only being fed to textbook economics like we have in Nigeria. In real terms, the economy has gone down. The value of the naira, the currency has gone down. The value of life, I mean the quality, by extension, the quality of life has gone down. So I do not see any progress. I do not see anything that somebody can appropriate and claim success. Now, coming back to the expenditure by the governors, this has been exponentially increasing over the years. It is now part of the loot that public officials loot the treasury. I have made a point somewhere that if a country were to develop by courses, by symposium, by what else do you call this one that they do? Symposiums, courses, training workshops, and this, Nigeria would have been the most developed country in the world.
Yeah, honestly.
If there were things that help a country to develop, we would have been the most developed countries. There's no course abroad. There's no symposium abroad. There's no this thing that is happening abroad that we don't go there
Nigerians
in numbers. In our numbers. Yeah. Within the country, every ministry, every parastatal, they organize this thing. These are jamborees. These are avenues for corruption and for looting of the treasury. It is increasing in magnitude. So it is difficult. It's a clear thing for anybody to see. The governors, like the political system that we operate today, the governors are solely, singly, with their single biro, in charge of every penny, every single penny that come into the state. The House of Assembly is just a rubber stamp. The governor does anything he pleases with the whole money coming into the state, whether it is internal revenue, whether it's statutory allocation from the federation account. That power itself can lead to corruption, and they have corrupted themselves thoroughly from that. Traveling, I think last year, when one of these ministers, the other minister, I think humanitarian affairs, that was eventually put aside. There was a delegation to Kogi State that they wanted to send to Kogi State. And the allowances, now Kogi has no airport. They gave allowances according to air travel. When Kogi has no airport, but the minister herself gave her allowance. There were a delegation of, I think, either 66 people. And everybody was, the allowances were based on air travel to a state that had no airport. The sleeping, if you see what they put there, for each person, from the minister down to the driver, and they challenge her that Kogi has no airport. Why are you putting 150,000 for air ticket? Which flight are you going to use? So this is the ways and means, and they call this one legitimate. When you acquire this money, it is legitimate allowance. This is not theft. They call it, I am earning my legitimate allowance in the public service. But you and me know that these are avenues of waste and corruption that degrade the economy, that degrade our treasury, and we should have no room for those kind of things. Why do you think people like to go into the public service? The salary is small, but what they
Yeah,
get is sometimes 100 times more than the salary.
of course.
So they can go into the government, take an office, and you see them living larger than life, larger than anything, larger than the person who
Anyway,
has a company, a private company running business, even doing manufacturing, do anything. The person in the government sitting in the office, closing by 3 or 4, is living far better than you.
honestly, so sad, so sad. Anyway, thank you so much, Barrister. Honestly, for those of you who don't know, honestly, let me notify our audience about this. Barrister is someone that 95% of what we discuss on this platform, the topics, he didn't know. 95% of the time, we just come on this show. He comes up blindly without knowing the topic, what we'll be discussing. On probably 5% of the time, when we want to, the only time I notify him of our discussion, our area of discussion is when it has to do with law, because I need clarity on that. I need specific clarification on that, legal details and all that stuff. Other than that, everything that has to do with current affairs and politics and or whatever, any other thing, honestly, that is why I really I really respect his gift here, because like I said, I don't give him prior notice of the topic we are discussing. I don't forward anything to him. And sometimes even some of these topics, I'm not a scripted person. Sometimes some of these topics, I don't even note them down. I just go through my phone, and while we're discussing and these topics are coming, I just put some highlights there. So Barrister Manta has been so spontaneous and organic in responding to all our topics, all our questions, and incidentally, no one, all he has always been on point on all. Thank you so very much, Barrister.